Well, hello everybody, this is Jeff Janess and welcome to our fourth lab exercise in our Data Types in ArcGIS Pro lecture. In the last lab exercise, you remember we learned how to import a feature class into a geodatabase. It was really easy, just right click on it, you go to import, and there's your feature class. Well, in this lab exercise, we're going to learn how to import a raster into a geodatabase. In earlier versions of ArcGIS, there was an option right in here to import rasters as well. I'm not sure why they took that out, but they did, and so we have to use a special geoprocessing tool now to accomplish this task. All right, so the geoprocessing tools are in the Analysis tab in this little Tools button. We click that, it opens up our tools, our geoprocessing section. We can either type in the name of the tool, and in this case the tool happens to be named raster to geodatabase. So if we type that in, see, it'll come up in the list and we could fire it up there easily enough. I'll tell you though, there's plenty of times that you want to accomplish a function in ArcGIS and you know there's a tool that does it, you just can't remember the name, and so in this case, typing the name isn't really going to help. When that happens, when you come to your geoprocessing pane here, instead of typing, just click on the toolboxes, and these are the various toolboxes they have available to you, so you can search through one that looks good. The one that imports to a geodatabase happens to be in the Conversion Tools toolbox. We open that up, and it's in the sub-toolbox called To Geodatabase. We pop that open. Here is the raster to geodatabase tool. That's the one we're going to run. So I'm going to click on it. The tool is waiting for parameters. So we're going to import this raster called AS_110 EVT. This happens to be a landfire existing vegetation type. That's what EVT stands for. Version 1.1, so it's a few years old. There's newer versions of landfire available, but this is a good one to practice with. All right, AS means it's on the Apache Sitgreaves. So we're going to import this raster into our geodatabase. So we have to click the Browse button to go find that raster. Now remember, we have connected our project to our class geodatabase folder that was back in lab exercise 1. So we can open up folders here, and here is our class data. Okay, we want to go into the additional data folder here to find this raster. So it's in additional data, and here it is. So we just click on it, hit OK, it'll put it into the input raster. Now here we have to tell it where we want to put it. We're going to put it in this geodatabase, but we could find it by searching with the browse. But since we happen to see it over here in our directory tree here, we can just click it and drag it up. That'll work just as well. All right, now it's going to input the raster in here. We hit run and it goes to work. Okay, all done. Close it. We go back, we look at our new geodatabase, look what's in here. Sure enough, just like with the feature class, it didn't show up. This is a mystery to me. So anyway, we have to refresh the geodatabase. So we right click on it, hit refresh. All this does is tell ArcGIS Pro to go take a new clean look at it, and this time it finds it. So there is our raster. Now we're going to, as with the feature class, we're going to learn how to take a look at it with this details panel. That's this button down here on the bottom. We're going to click that to open that up. Now let's move over to the next page. All right, so this raster happens to have an attribute table, so when we click on table we see the attribute table associated with it. The geography shows us the actual spatial data set itself, and there's metadata if we want to look at it. There's actually none written for this particular data set. All right, here's the geography. This is what it would look like in your map and the table. Now we have a question here. Does this raster have an attribute table? And an easy way to tell is that if you click on it on the table, and you see a table, that means there is one. If you clicked on a raster that didn't have a table and let me just demo that for you. Let's switch back to geography here. If I went and found a raster that I happen to know doesn't have an attribute table, like Landsat, I click on Landsat. The geography, come on. Oh, I know what's the matter. I have to click on it here. Landsat. Here's what it looks like. Now, if we hit the attribute table, Landsat doesn't have a table, so it's going to give you this error message. Remember, lots of rasters have attribute tables, lots of them don't. So Landsat is one that does not. The Landfire expected veg type does. All right, let's come back to our geodatabase. All right, so a couple more questions here. First, how many bands does this particular raster have? Remember that all rasters have bands. Some rasters only have a single band. Some have several. One way we can find out is we can right-click on the raster and open up the properties. And in fact, all of these questions here will be answered here. Within the raster information section, oops, excuse me, let's open that again. How many bands does it have? Well, that is right here. This has one band. How many rows does it have? It has 5,139 rows, 4,200 columns, so a little over 2 million cells, right? What is the resolution of this raster? Remember, resolution means the cell size on the ground. So how big is each raster cell? Well, here it is, cell size. Right here you can tell that the cell size is 30, and that's half the story. 30 what though? So you want to know, are these 30 feet, 30 meters, 30 inches, what? So you can find that out information in the spatial reference. Let's come down here, and you find that the linear unit of this coordinate system is a meter. So if this was in feet, then that resolution would be 30 feet. But in this case, it happens to be a meter, so the resolution is 30 meters. Each cell is 30 meters on the side. Okay, now I want to add our new raster to a map and take a look at it. And we could do this. We could go to the map. We could hit the Add Data button, and I would probably do that in the lab exercise. Looks like I don't give details. That's okay. Anyway, we can also find here the raster in our geodatabase. We can just right-click on it and go to Add to Map, and it'll pop it right up into that map. So we right-click on the raster here in our geodatabase. We hit Add to Map. It has put it up into the map, so we click over here on the map, and lo and behold, there is our raster. Now, if you take a look at this particular raster, you can kind of see some details in the landscape. The cell values range from 11 to 2549, and what I'm wanting you to realize is as you look at this, this way of symbolizing it is not very useful. 11 means what? 2549 means what? It's not elevation. These are vegetation type categories, so this is not very useful. But the fact that this raster has an attribute table opens up some possibilities for us. We can symbolize according to some of those attribute values. So that's what this lab exercise is showing you how to do. And Landfire comes with lots of different classification systems all wrapped into that attribute table. We're going to classify it by what we call the SAF SRM types, which is the Society of American Foresters and the Society of Range Management classification system. And it's going to look a lot better than this 11 to 2549. All right, so what we do is we right-click on the layer here in our map. We go to Symbology, and it opens up the Symbology pane. We're going to change the symbology type from stretch to unique values. Let's skip over here. All right. Now, it started, the unique values come from one of the attribute fields, and it's starting out with this particular attribute field called EVT name. But there's several of them here, and this is the one we want to symbolize by. So we're going to pick that, and it redraws itself, and there we go. We close this. Now you notice that each color actually corresponds with something understandable. So agriculture is here. The Engelmann spruce subalpine fir is colored this. So the attribute table really gave us power to use this data more usefully. All right.